guys. In our last video, we talked about retiring early without millions of dollars. And we talked about whether $400,000 could work. But today we want to just slow this down a little bit because early retirement isn't about how much you have. It isn't about how much money is in your bank account. It isn't about how much money you have invested in retirement funds, stock market, mutual funds, all that stuff. How much money you have in your 401k. It's not about how much money you have in your savings. It's about how much money you need to live a comfortable life in retirement.
And for us, the important number wasn't the money in our savings account or the other accounts. It was our spending. When we first retired, the part that made us the most nervous wasn't the market. It wasn't even running out of money someday.
No, it was knowing our rhythm. And by rhythm, we mean how much money it takes for us to live a comfortable life, to live the retirement life that we want. And for us, that is a life of slow travel in Southeast Asia. And we travel a month at a time and travel around Southeast Asia. We didn't need more assumptions because we all know what assumptions do. Everyone assumes that you need over $1 million, over $1 million to retire. That's what people think. It's not even you need $1 million anymore. It's you need over $1 million, like 1.25, 2 million. That's what everyone thinks you need before you could even think about retiring. But really, that's just what we all assume. That's what people tell us, so that's what we think. So you have this set mindset about what you need to retire when really all you need to know for sure what we needed each month to live the life we wanted to live. We needed clarity.
So today we're going to show you what our monthly spending actually looks like on average, category by category.
Yep. We're going to start with housing.
Housing is usually the biggest category for most people. Obviously, you have to have a roof over your head. And for us, the biggest shift wasn't in the downsizing, selling our home and selling off a bunch of our possessions that we needed when we had a home.
Yeah.
It was about choosing flexibility.
Yeah, so when we chose flexibility, we stopped asking ourselves, what can we afford? Where can we afford to live? What kind of a house can we afford? How much actual money can we spend on something? We started asking ourselves questions like, what supports the life that we want? We did some research. We researched how much it would cost to live in Southeast Asia. We watched YouTube videos like this one. And we just did our research. We looked at how much an Airbnb for 30 days in Southeast Asia would cost. We started working on our hotel hacks. We started working on our favorite, our IHG branded Chase card, which we found the Chase card is the best card to use if you're planning on going to Southeast Asia. We found that we can stay in beautiful, comfortable condos on the beach in Thailand through Airbnb for 30 days for $450 a month.
A month.
And that includes all the amenities. We found that we can stay in luxury hotels for 30 days or 4 nights in 4 nights in a row because IHG gives you the 4th night free. But we can stay for months in hotels in Southeast Asia, sometimes for $0 because we're constantly earning free nights on our card, and we would spend as much as $1,500 a month for a luxury hotel with a lounge, so all of our meals were free.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner free at a really nice hotel. Absolutely free for those meals. But that's not all. It includes the pool, the gym, sometimes laundry service you can do. In Southeast Asia, there's a lot of places that will come and pick up your laundry at the hotel, bring it back to you later that day for like $3. It's really crazy. So all of that, including a pool, a gym, concierge at your beck and call, complete safety. Southeast Asia is the safest country we've ever been in so far. If you're thinking about going to Southeast Asia like we are, even if you're just visiting, you really need to click on our referral link in the description and get your Chase branded IHG card.
It'll make you money.
It'll
actually make you money.
They do charge a $95 yearly fee, which is, you get that completely back plus some, because every year they give you one free hotel night, and you can use it anywhere. You can use it in Europe where things are a little more expensive. You can use it in the US where things are a little higher, or you can use it in Southeast Asia. But you get that back every year with that annual free night. You get the card. You have to spend $3,000 in the first 3 months, but that's so easy. You just use your card for groceries. You use your card for gas. You use your card for your monthly charges of things, your subscriptions, whatever you charge every month. Just use that card and you'll have it spent in 3 months or less.
Yeah, easy.
If you do that, you get 140,000 free hotel points. And let me tell you what you can do with that 140,000 hotel points. We just booked a hotel in Thailand on the beach for 6,750 points a night on average. That's if you book in 4-night increments, because the 4th night is free. That could be you. You could get 20 free nights at that same hotel that we're going to stay at this year. So lucky.
So on average, our housing runs about $1,200 a month.
Yep, that's taking in the $450 a night for an Airbnb, up to $1,500 a night. We just ran the average at $1,200. So the next category is food. Food changed more than we expected in retirement, because when we were working full time, food it just had to be convenient. When we got off work, we were tired. And let me tell you, the last question I wanted to hear after working all day was, what's for dinner? I'm sure you all feel that same way. It's so hard to come up with new ideas, new recipes, new combinations, so it doesn't just get boring night after night after night. When we were working, it was a lot of quick meals, fast meals, something easy, because we were tired. We didn't want to spend time thinking and planning and making something. And that kind of stuff tends to cost more money. So there was a lot of nights, because we were too tired to cook, that we would eat out, or we would order something in. DoorDash was our favorite. Pizza delivery was a good one too. There was a lot of waste and overspend. When you're not living intentionally and budgeting where your money goes, this can happen very easily. And overspending is something that we don't want to do. So knowing your spend in each category is going to help. So now that we're actually retired, we're more relaxed. We have more time to plan meals. We have more time and energy to cook and to plan and to search out good prices, good places to eat. Food in Southeast Asia is so cheap that...
And it's good.
Oh yeah, it's cheap and it's good. And if you eat like the locals, it's even cheaper. And street food vendors are the best. They're really delicious. So, now that we're retired, food planning it's part of our rhythm now. And we make it fun. It's kind of like a game to see what place we can find, where we can eat super cheap. We like to see how much it costs us to both eat a really good meal, like $1.50 a piece, sometimes $3 a piece. If we're living the high life, it's so cheap in Southeast Asia.
And we can cook in our condo in Thailand, for example.
And some of the hotels have a cooktop as well.
Yeah, and you can cook in your room, but what you'll find is most often it's cheaper to go out and eat.
Yeah.
But we still have staple items in our room that we like to have, snack items, fruit, vegetables, cookies, of course, for me. But now we take our time with our meals, and it's part of our day, not just something we have to do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's 5:05, what's for dinner?
Yeah, it's a lot nicer. It's more relaxed. It's more casual. And eating we enjoy it now. We enjoy tasting the meals and finding the places, and it's a lot of fun.
So on average, our food spending runs about $350 a month.
Yeah, so cheap. It's awesome. So the next category is healthcare, health insurance. Healthcare was something that we thought seriously about before retiring. As a nurse and working in healthcare, this was really important to us. And so we didn't ignore it, we took it seriously.
Yeah, and this isn't something to take lightly. I mean, we are very conscientious and responsible about having health care, and so we planned for it. We knew that we were going to have to figure out a plan for insurance now that we were no longer working for jobs that provided health insurance.
Yeah.
And to be transparent, this is one of the most common questions we get on our channel is, what do we do for health insurance?
Yeah. On every video, multiple questions about what do you do for health insurance now that you're retired, and I'm not old enough for Medicare, so how do you fill that gap in?
And I think it's something to note that when you're thinking in American dollars, health insurance is super expensive, super important, hyper important really, because it's so expensive in the US to get quality health care or any health care. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we do in a nutshell. We use Safety Wing Insurance in Southeast Asia. It's a really affordable insurance plan. There's a zero deductible for the plan that we have. And healthcare in Southeast Asia is already very affordable. I know that Safety Wing does not cover people over age 69. So at that point, we'll have to figure out something else. We're not there yet, so we're not quite ready to research that. So if you are watching this and you're over 69, we don't know the answer yet, but we will figure it out when we get closer to that point. For example, about how cheap health care is in Southeast Asia, you can go to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and they have different medical facilities. There's a couple of them there that offer some really good comprehensive, like a yearly checkup, but more than you would get in the US on a yearly checkup. The ones in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, they include all kinds of things like comprehensive lab work, chest x-ray, a treadmill stress test. I mean, good luck trying to get that approved by your insurance in the US. If you just want to know how your heart health is and don't have any symptoms, you're not going to get approved for a stress test. But sometimes you need it even though you don't have symptoms.
Yeah.
You know, it can save a life knowing how your heart health is. All of these comprehensive studies, it's like a full day thing. So it's going to take you like 3 or 4 hours to do this. But you go there, you do your test, you go have lunch, and then you meet with the doctor. Same day. You do all these tests, you meet with a doctor. How often have you done a test and then waited and waited and waited days, weeks to get the results? That's stressful. That is so stressful, waiting to know, did I pass? Am I okay? Is there something we need to do different? In Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, and probably other places, but the Malaysia is one of the most common for these types of comprehensive workups. You get all of it in the same day, and then you have a plan. Whether you're fine or whether you need to do something different, it's all done the same day.
And it doesn't take months and months to get in. You could schedule this and probably get in the next day, if
can
not the same day.
Yes, it's so easy to get the appointment. And guess how much it costs? It's only $279 in US dollars. That is crazy.
That might not even be your deductible in the States.
Well, like just going to a doctor visit, like an annual doctor visit, is like $400.
Yeah, if not more, depending on where you live.
Your insurance is going to pay part of that if you have good insurance, but $279 all in for all this stuff, like a full day at the hospital, getting all of your tests done, talking to the doctor, finding out if you're going to need to tweak some things in your lifestyle or if you're going strong, doing good. It's so worth it. Other than that, we both have one maintenance prescription that we each take every day, and they're both inexpensive prescriptions that we pay $5 a month for. So,
but on average then, for when you factor in insurance and out-of-pocket costs for us, we run about $355 a month.
The next category is travel expenses like airfare and getting around, things like that.
So travel isn't an extra for us. It's not something that we plan a vacation around. It's part of why we retired early, and it's how we are retired. So travel is part of our day, part of our lifestyle.
Like Tyke said, travel is part of our lifestyle. So it doesn't necessarily mean luxury travel, like going on long cruises or traveling all over the world, traveling to different places like Europe or the Antarctica or something like that might be a little more expensive. It means intentional choices we made, how we use savings. We use apps like going.com, and Agoda is another app that's really popular in Southeast Asia. And we use things like points.yeah. These are all places where we can find really reasonable airfare. Because when you want to travel from the US over to Southeast Asia, it's a long flight. So it's probably going to be one of your most expensive purchases just getting there, right? So we look at these, we have our flights all mapped out in all of these apps, and we're searching constantly all year long for the best flights, the best dates, the best times, the cheapest, and we end up getting some really, really reasonable prices.
Sometimes less expensive than domestic flights.
Oh, for sure, yeah. If you watch, you can get really inexpensive flights. And then while you're in Southeast Asia, everything's so cheap. You can take a taxi around town for $1. You can ride the train, ride the subway, all that stuff is super. And walking, every place we go, we make sure it's a walkable area so that if we have to walk around, we can. So when we use these cheap flights or points from a credit card, you can really save some money flying back and forth. So the main chunk of it, with that flight being from here to Southeast Asia, it doesn't have to crush your budget. There's also things you can do if you don't like to fly or don't want to be on a plane that long. There's transatlantic cruises, repositioning cruises they call them, where the ship is going back to its original port of call to be maybe some refurbishment on it, and you can get those super cheap. And that is like a 10-day cruise. So not only are you not paying for airfare, you're getting that airfare included in this cruise kind of because you're getting to where you want to go. Mm-hmm. And you're also getting your free meals and your accommodation. So the repositioning...
and you transition to the new time zone over a few days instead of one day.
So for people that are worried about that long flight, or maybe are having trouble finding an inexpensive price, or maybe they can't sit that long on an airplane. There's a lot of us that are getting older that have back problems or whatever and just can't sit that long on an airplane. A repositioning cruise would be amazing for you because you can get them really cheap. You can get them for under $500, and it's like a 10-day. That's $50 a day. And
keep in mind that includes all your food.
It does. It includes all your food. It includes the transportation to where you're going, and basically your housing. So, do the math. It works out pretty good for that. Yeah. Plus, you get to have a fun cruise, and the ports are usually a little bit different than on a commercial cruise. So, get to see some unique places.
So, now on travel then, on average, we spend about $150 a month.
So the next category is kind of our miscellaneous buffer type category.
Yeah, there's things you can't always predict, right? So we always budget for that.
Yeah, things come up like clothing. Maybe you wear out a pair of shoes. Maybe you lose a pair of shoes. I don't know. Maybe something comes up. You need a new shirt, or you need a gift for someone, or there's something unexpected. Maybe your phone stops working. I don't know. There's little incidentals that we try to budget for. When you plan for these things to happen, it kind of takes away some of that stress. So having this category in our budget really makes it nice for us to have that buffer. If we don't use it that month, we just roll it into the next month. So, sometimes that kind of thing will only happen every 3 or 4 months. So then you have this nice built up nest egg for incidentals that seem to kind of sneak up on you.
And there are a lot of options overseas for things like maybe you need swimwear, or you need,
Yeah.
like Tina mentioned, a pair of shoes. There are some options in Asia, Southeast Asia, that aren't available in the U.S. that are surprisingly affordable. In fact, very affordable.
Yes, for sure.
And very good products. Consider that most of the products that we buy in the U.S., such as shoes and clothing, are made there. So
they're made right there.
They have a lot of options there for clothing, incidentals, etc. So
Yeah.
it's something that we plan for. Sometimes it's enjoyable. I mean,
Yeah.
buying $2 workout T-shirts is kind of fun. But
It is.
in that category for miscellaneous, we average about, or at least allow for, about $50 a month.
So when we add it all together, housing, food, healthcare, travel, and miscellaneous.
On average, our monthly spending budget runs about $2,105 a month.
Less than $2,200 a month. When we first saw that number clearly, it changed everything. It changed the whole way we were thinking about retirement.
And not just because the number was small, tiny, not because it was dramatic, but because really we had a known number, we had a baseline to work with.
Most people think that you need a bigger number, a bigger investment account, a bigger nest egg, the $1 million that we've been talking about that everyone assumes that you need when you retire. What they really need, what people really need, is just a clear understanding of their life.
Yeah, and we're not sharing this so you can copy our number. I mean, maybe you can, but we're sharing it so you have a framework to calculate what your freedom number is. And that's really what it is. It's about freedom.
Yeah, because once you understand your rhythm, all that stuff that we've been talking about, the fear of retirement and having enough and all of those things, it shrinks down, it gets smaller, it calms. It's not a fear anymore because you have the knowledge.
Yeah, the knowledge is empowering. And if you haven't watched our video about whether $400,000 is enough to retire, well, honestly, that's a good next step.
Yeah.
We'll add it in the end screen with a link in our description, and you can just click on it when you get there, and it'll give you a good place to start.
Yeah. And if you need help calculating your own freedom number, we have created a free download for you. We have a link in the description where you can go to download your own worksheet so that you can go through the steps and you can calculate your own freedom budget calculator. It's going to help you walk through that, find your number that's what you need to retire, and knowing that number is going to help you get to your goals so much faster. Once you see that number is so much different than what you've imagined, it's going to open up your mind. Your brain is going to tell you, I can do this. This is doable. You're going to know how much you need to retire, and you're going to be able to do it faster. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching our videos. We really appreciate you. We love our followers, our YouTube subscribers. We really want to give you guys an assignment that if this video resonated with you, if you found it useful, if you found it gave you a little bit of hope, a little bit of a different tweak of how you look at things, you're not assuming that you need $1 million anymore. You're seeing people like us, normal people, doing an early retirement, traveling the world, doing all those things that some of us just dream about. Please share this video with someone else, someone you care about, someone you think that would want to hear this too. And let's spread the word and let's help a lot of people get to their goals faster. Thank you so much.